they have done it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris and Mark back to talk about the post-match reaction to Newcastle United 2, Spurs 0. We are an unbelievable cup side, and we did it again tonight. Absolutely class. We're going to get right into the game, talk about the lineup, talk about the key moments, key performers, our man of the match, all the usual post-match analysis with Evermore. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe, help get us to the next milestone, which we are really, really close to. I think we're over 11,800 and something or other, so we're getting close to 12,000. We've got a mint prize to give away at 12,000. It may have something to do with this very competition, so you need to be in it to win it. So get us to 12k and then get into the draw, and you could be in it to win it. But good result for Newcastle United tonight, Mark. That's what we needed. We needed to get this victory done. We're into a quarter final, and yeah, before we get into the lineup, mate, what do you reckon?
I think you call this frankly dominant. I can't disagree with that. Nice little pun. I didn't pick up on it at first. I was a bit slow tonight. No. But that was professional. It was relatively easy. I mean, Spurs had a couple of moments, but other than that, it was as straightforward a win as you honestly wish to have. Certainly at the stage of the competition going into a quarter-final draw.
Yeah, Chipper says the Mitchell brothers.
Come on.
I don't want to even ask which one's which, Chippers, because, I have less hair. I'm probably the miserable old vodka-drinking bastard one, aren't I? Really, that's probably what I am, maybe. I am only drinking tea tonight, but it is in the old merch mug before everyone starts shouting merch in the comments. And Mark's got the old merch. We're definitely digging a hole for ourselves here, Mark. So anyway, let's get stuck into the lines before the merch kicks in. Jump in the comments, guys, as we're going on. But this is how we lined up tonight. There was a lot of changes when we did the preview. I was thinking Eddie Howe was going to go probably full strength in this one and maybe rein the changes against West Ham that are going down quicker than the Titanic at the weekend. But he did bring in the changes in this team. Aaron Ramsdale came in. We'll talk about him in a minute, Mark, especially you being a resident goalkeeper. Very impressed with Ramsdale tonight. Fabian Schar came in alongside Malik Thiaw, and oh my word, how class were those two. Emil Kraft came in out of cryostasis as well. He was in, as was Anthony Elanga. It was great to see Jacob Ramsey in the starting lineup as well. Joe Willick came in, which I was very, very skeptical about, but klaxon alert, I'm going to give Willick a little bit of praise actually in a bit. But so Spurs made some changes as well. They kind of rotated their squad a little bit as well. But I mean, you looked at that lineup, Mark, and you thought, we're at home, momentum's with us. You got to fancy it. And to be fair, we started really well. I thought we were just constantly at Spurs. I don't really felt like they got much play together. Certainly not in the first probably 15 to 20 minutes. I thought we were really dominant and kind of pushed them back into their own half. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, a few moments that they sort of had a little bit of, I think after about sort of 8 or 9 minutes. But other than that, it was, Tonali's free kick into the box early doors that caused problems where it goes to the back post. Thiaw heads into the goalkeeper saves, and then Willick has his shot blocked. It was really evident that Newcastle were trying to play high, really push onto Spurs, try and keep them with the ball as deep as possible. And the early stages with it was all Newcastle really. The Spurs didn't come into it until later in the half, and it was I guess it was a matter of when, not if, for goals coming, because the interplay between players, the runs in and there's something I did love certainly in that first half was the runs in beyond Woltemade as he dropped deep. I love to see the likes of Willick and Ramsey getting in behind him, but it was all Newcastle. There was very little from a Spurs perspective that had you worried at all.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go in front on the 24th minute, which was quite humorous actually as well, wasn't it? Because the ball goes out for a corner, I think it is, isn't it? And Jed Spence decides to kneel down to tie his shoelace for what seemed to be about 25 minutes of the game. And I think the referee got a bit pissed off of waiting for him, and then he kind of just went, well, come on, hurry up, and got on with it. He didn't even come back into his box to defend. The cross comes in, and we're a team of big bastards, right? Anyone who's watching Newcastle can see that. The ball comes in, and Fabian Schar wants it more. It's a cracking header, bottom corner. Fabian Schar is back. I thought even for Fabian Schar, he looked cool as fuck tonight. Long sleeves, he was just cruising around the pitch, he was spraying passes around. Him and Malik Chow were that good. I think I put a gif on X about the handshaking predator between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. That's how I felt these two were tonight. But it was a cracking header, Mark, wasn't it? And we deserved to go in front. I think Spurs were doing the game.
Absolutely. I joked to you, I said it was like watching a toddler try and tie his shoelaces. And I get it, his sort of boot got a little bit messed up from the challenge with Elanga that put the ball out for the corner. And the ref waited and waited and waited. It doesn't take that long to put your football boot on. What struck me as odd was, and I said this to you at halftime, is the pundits at halftime, and I think they're talking about it again in post matches. The referee allowing then Jed Spence to come back and get into position in the centre of the goal as he defended the previous corner. And you go, well, if Spurs are sort of worried, they've got plenty of players on that side. Just leave him there. Get him to play the wide position, the wide defender role, and bring a player back into the middle so that if it does happen, if that issue does happen where he can't get back in time or the kick's allowed to go early, you've got somebody else in the role instead. And they went bananas at the referee for not allowing him, but he's got absolutely no right or no sort of, there's nothing in the law that says he has to wait for him to come back from tying his shoelace. Fuck me, they should have just taken the corner. Just lift it over the top of him. If he wants to take 20 minutes, just lift the ball over the top of him. It's pathetic.
But I thought it was hilarious because the Spurs players were getting a bit argy with the referee. And, Porro was trying to push him away. I mean, I don't mind Porro, to be fair. I think he's quite a good player. He was a captain tonight. And he was pushing him away. I mean, Richarlison was really getting himself in bother. If Porro hadn't pushed him away, he could have been staring down a yellow card. And I was watching it going, what are you arguing about? He stood there for ages tying his shoelace. If I was his captain, I'd have kicked him out the arse and told him to hurry up, as you say, Mark. But we go in front. And to be honest with you, we had chances before that. Barnes has a great chance. With some lovely little play from Woltemade as well. The quick feet, the turn. He played Barnes in. It was a great effort. After we go one in front, I think there's another couple of efforts as well. There's a Malik Chow should score. Ball falls to Harvey Barnes. He kind of does really well to faction a shot and he hits the bar. But then Newcastle start to pull off a little bit. Like we seem to do quite a lot this season. We go 1-0 up and we almost seem to go, right, well, let's hold this 1-0 lead for a period of time. I don't know where that's coming from. If it's coming from Eddie, if it's coming from, the James Bunn's, performance management of expelling energy or whatever it is. But for some reason, when Newcastle go 1-0 up, we don't just go, right, foot in the throat, let's do it. Outside of those two chances, well, there were kind of two chances in one for Malik Chow and Harvey Barnes. We didn't seem to press hard enough for the second goal. And Spurs started to come back into it. There was a couple of chances. I mean, there was one in particular where Richarlison burst through. We've got to talk about this. Richarlison burst through. Malik Chow, Mark, fucking hell, the pace on this kid and the challenge. And he turns around, he pumps the crowd up. That was absolutely class, man, wasn't it? I loved that.
It was. I think the only thing that Chow did wrong all night, he misplaced a pass once. Other than that, I mean, if you go back a little bit earlier than that, the ball he played through the lines to set up the chance for Ramsey. Wonderful touch by Dan Burn, by the way. In the first 10 minutes of the game, Dan Burn suddenly decided he was Gareth Bale for a moment with his little touches and that cross that he whips in as well. But Chow defending, to get back and get that block in as well as he did was outstanding. And you're right, Spurs got that little bit of momentum coming into the end of the half, and Richarlison had a couple of moments where the ball was just played. He got in front of the ball as the ball's played across the box, and then that one that just drifts beyond the far post we can't quite get to. And you thought, there's a little bit of something in this, because I don't think Newcastle had created clear-cut chances at that point outside of the goal. That it was another one of those. Does that come back to bite you a little bit in the second half? And it was certainly a little bit of a worry going into the half that they had just picked up a little bit of momentum, and especially when you go back to that Chow miss at the end of the first half, about sort of 41 minutes, wasn't it, where Tonali puts the ball in, he mishits it, and then Barnes somehow manages to twist himself into some sort of
goal, by the way. If that had gone in, if Barnes had scored that in off the bar, so that would have been a great goal.
Yeah, it would have been unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously Newcastle massively on top first half. I think apart from those little moments, and really should have been further ahead. And the worry was going into half time that Spurs got that little bit of momentum. You started to see a little bit more from Simons on the ball. Brennan Johnson was being a little bit more of an influence further forward, because before that he'd done absolutely nothing except whine at the referee. So into half time, comfortable 1-0 up.
Absolutely. And then we come out in the second half and you start to see Newcastle really stepping it up, start to go for chances. There's a couple of nice chances. Alanga's looking lively. Willick was looking quite good. I think he has a header that he probably should have done a lot better with when the ball comes in. And then the 50th minute, it's actually Joe Willick who puts the ball back over to a lovely little dink cross into the box. And Joe Willick showed little flashes tonight of the Joe Willick that we've been missing for a long time. I thought he showed a lot of good energy. He showed a lot of pace. I think it was one in the first half, I think, wasn't there, where Ramsdale gets the ball from his hands and drills an unbelievable kick. We'll talk about Ramsdale in detail in a minute. But Willick brings that down with some patience and some quality. He shields the ball well. He drops his shoulder. He dips back inside. And that's the kind of Joe Willick we're used to. But for the goal, he does really, really well. He gets the ball. He turns back inside, dinks a lovely ball over. And it's that man again, big Nick Woltemade. That'll cushioned header. That's him. Is that his 6th goal in 11 games for Nick Woltemade? I mean, I could talk about this kid all night long. I mean, he's not getting like 2 or 3 goals a game, right? But his link-up play, his quick feet, some of the passing he did tonight as well, just drawing players in, spinning, putting the ball out wide, bringing people into play. That one for Barnes would have been an unbelievable goal.
Yes.
The quick turn of feet. But it's great to know that he can still pop up and score these headers. There was a few times tonight, Mark, I think big Nick Woltemade was breaking his nuts to get in the box. And there was a couple of times he laid it off quite deep and he was back in the box. So that's showing that his fitness levels are growing as well, aren't they, the more games he plays. And I did worry because he got a couple of little kicks and he was hobbling a little bit towards the end before he was replaced by Asula. So I was glad that Eddie took him off. But a good goal from Nick.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting. I noted that within the first 2 minutes that he'd been given a free kick for what had been going on at the weekend. Where he got absolutely nothing. So fair play to the referee for giving that. I have to say though, I thought was it Kavanagh that was the referee tonight? I thought he was absolutely awful both ways. I just thought he was pretty poor in some of the way that he handled the game. But yeah, the goal is just it's a brilliant little ball in from Willick. It's exactly what you want to kind of see from him. That willingness to get forward, that little jink back onto us, just a lovely little ball over the top. And I think you see from the image there on the right, Kinski makes an absolute mess of it coming for it, and Big Nick's probably thinking, and I think they said it as a commentary, he's got to be thinking, I'm going to get clattered here. And he just gets his head to it in front of the keeper, and it's just a little deft header that goes in, and 2-0, and that's it. I mean, at that point, there's really nothing. Spurs then have a couple of opportunities, but other than that it was really comfortable then at 2-0 to go and kind of almost shut up shop at this point.
Yeah, we've got to give him a shout, though. He didn't have a lot to do tonight, but I thought Ramsdale was very confident tonight. I thought that bit he come out when he chested the ball.
Yes.
That was absolutely class. I mean, composure from the keeper, but then he makes a good save before I let you wax lyrically about the keeper. I know you're itching to do it. But when he makes a save, I think it's from Spence, and it's a really good save because it's a good effort from Spence. He looks like he's going to bend in the bottom corner, and Ramsdale really gets across. It's a really agile, athletic dive. He makes a good save. But what I loved about that, Mark, was he's straight back up for the rebound as well. He didn't just lay there. He's straight back up. He makes himself big. I think he gets a nick on it and then Schar cleans up after him. But I was really impressed with Ramsdale tonight. Really impressed, Mark. And what was your thoughts of him obviously being the resident keeper?
Yeah, look, Ramsdale tonight, I thought, showed every bit of why he was always seen as being an England #1 goalkeeper. He was commanding. He came for the ball. He caught well. He punched when he had to. And he punched well. He wasn't soft punches into sort of no man's. He really got under the ball to get it away. his sweeping, which is something that Nick Pope does really, really well. At times, Nick Pope can play quite high and come for the ball quite far out. It was really nice to see that Ramsdale do that as well. He said that moment when he comes out, he's probably 30 yards from goal by the time he clears the ball, and it's just good goalkeeping at that point. His kicking was precise. It was on point. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't. I never felt anxious of the ball going back to him. And I texted you in the first half, didn't I, and said, "This is what a goalkeeper that's good with his feet. This is what you expect." And that ball to Willick, who then breaks down the right, it's just exceptional. The save, I think it was from Papsaw, wasn't it?
It was a Papsaw
down into his left. It's down to his left. Gets a really, really strong hand to it to move it away. I mean, it's almost unfortunate it doesn't go out for a corner and allows the Spurs player to get the ball back. But you absolutely hit the nail on the head. He hasn't showboated with the save as you sometimes see from the likes of Pickford and things. He got down. He saved the ball well. He's got straight back up to defend again. And then again, he does this sort of 6 or 7 minutes later. There's another really good save, this time from Richarlison's little flick. That was probably Richarlison's best moment of the night, was that ball that's played into him. And he just gets in front of, I think it was Fabian Schar, and gets the flick on the ball to divert it towards goal. And it's just an excellent reflex save. And he just... There's a real calmness I felt with him, and that brings out the best in the defence around. They never looked shaky around it. I never felt that when the ball was played back there was an edge to the crowd either. And look, Nick Pope has been absolutely brilliant this season. I am not going to knock him for 1 second, but there is still an edge to it when the ball is played back to him, and he's not comfortable with his feet. We know that. It is a downside to him, but he's an excellent goalkeeper. Ramsdale's shown tonight, and he's shown on multiple occasions across his career. I know he's had issues with relegations for his teams, but he's shown that he is a well-rounded goalkeeper, and there is an issue in terms of maybe his attention span at times. I think he's openly said that before. But if he gets it right, if he gets he's a cracking goalkeeper, and he's shown that tonight. He's done really, really well to come in when he's had no game time since the previous round, has he? And he's not looked like he's missed a step.
No, absolutely. I hope you're happy with that, Marcus. Marcus was looking forward to your assessment of Ramsdale, so hopefully Marcus is very happy with that. Vince says again, thank God Richarlison is shite. He is absolutely shite. And then he also says he loves Burn, but he scares me when he bombs forward a little bit. Yeah, he does a little bit. I worry a little bit. He gets a little bit too excited. I thought Burn was good tonight. I thought he handled Johnson really well. I thought when he joined the attacking play, he was decent. I mean, he's limited in terms of his ability with the ball. Lewis Hall is streets ahead of him. If Lewis Hall's playing tonight, I think Spurs are maybe tortured down that left-hand side, because Burn had loads of opportunities to overlap and get in there, and he didn't quite maximise it as much as maybe Hall would have. George says Walt Beardsley, absolutely, that's a great hybrid. Love that. Even from Baku, says Jamie up the Mags. Thank you very much for tuning in, Jamie. Appreciate that. Chipper says Botman reminds me of Shearer and Bergkamp in one. Christ, Chipper, if he's half the player either one of them two was, mate, will be absolutely spot on. Man of the match.
Good comparison, by the way.
I was going to say, Phil Farr saying hard to pick man of the match tonight. He thought Burnham a good game. I mean, we were mulling this over before we came on. For me, there's two outstanding candidates, Mark. Let me know your man of the match, guys, in the comments. My man of the match, I've probably got to go Sandro Tonali just to edge it, because I thought he was absolutely class. I thought he ran the midfield. I thought he was box to box. He was back cleaning up, sweeping up. He was starting attacking plays. He was constantly an outlet for the ball. But I also thought Malik Chow was superb again tonight. Some of the pressing. I think for the goal as well, for Woltemade's goal, he wins the ball back so high up, doesn't he? Puts the pressure in, makes a challenge, and gives it to Willick, who sets up the goal. And there's some brilliant performances all over. But for me, those two probably stood out. Just a little kind of token mention to other players. I thought Harvey Barnes was good tonight. I thought he was energetic. He was hungry for it. He got in good positions. Jacob Ramsey was class tonight. I thought work rate, always shown for the ball. But yeah, for me, those two in particular, Mark, I thought it's got to be a toss-up between Sandro and Thiaw for me. And I'm going to edge it to Sandro. Who's your man of the match?
So yeah, I think I mean I'd also sort of throw into that Fabian Schar because
brilliant.
I thought he was excellent tonight. And again, like I said, with Ramsdale, hadn't missed a step. Schar doesn't look like he's missed a game. I mean, he came in tonight. He just looked like he'd been there for weeks. He hit the ground running. Was really, really good defensively. A couple of niggly fouls. He gets booked for the pull down on Richarlison, which was his fourth foul. Don't you know? As Richarlison kept saying to the ref, excuse the noise in the background. It's my cat.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, there's a little bit of background noise. The burglar in your kitchen, Mark. Watch out!
She's just being a pain in the arse. But yeah, I think you sort of hit the nail on the head with some. I think going through the side, Tonali was excellent. Again, looked fresh. Those driving runs forward, brilliant defensive work when Spurs do get were getting forward and they were able to counter. Tonali's just there to mop things up brilliantly. I thought Elanga played well.
I thought he was better tonight, Elanga. Yeah,
It's disappointing that there wasn't an end product. Really sorry about this noise in the background. We'll throw something at her in a second.
No animals are harmed in the making of this podcast.
No, it'll be soft. Which is, I think, for Elanga, it was nice to see that little bit of interplay in the first half as well. When he's running inside and the little flicks in time, that what opened the shot for Barnes. Just moved. Hey dear. Willick, again, you said it. I thought he grew into the game. Certainly the start of the second half, I thought he was excellent. Ramsey was very, very good. Lovely seeing him get stuck into things. I think my man of the match is probably Thiaw. I thought he was excellent. Really, really good. Really composed at the back. He does get booked for a foul on Siemens. But the ability to win the ball back high when he and then drive forward. A number of times you saw him on the edge of the box, having driven forward with the ball or won the ball. He was brilliant tonight. Again, that's two really outstanding performances in a row.
Absolutely. And mention here from Leo says, you guys were pretty good tonight. I think Leo may be, I believe he's a Spurs fan or a Man United fan potentially, but little credit for the Spurs fans as well, by the way. 3,000 of them coming up for a midweek game, where when the game finishes, there is no trains back for these people. So do you know what? Massive credit in the current world we live in where everything's so fucking expensive. Fair play to those 3,000 Spurs fans for making that trip. I thought Spurs were poor tonight. I know we were good, but Spurs were poor. I think they didn't really show up. They didn't really show enough. I think that they were lacking a cutting edge. I mean, I think I said I was in one of my many football group chats. I mean, and I said one of them, because we did open some chances up for Spurs to try and do something, but they just lack so much creativity. And I said, if this had been a Kane and a Son Spurs, I might have been worried when those kind of pockets of space opened up, when Burn was maybe caught overlapping. If it was a Son there or a Kane there, or even a Madison there, I'd have been worried. But they just looked like they didn't really lack. There was no teeth in Spurs tonight. I just didn't feel like they were ever really threatening our goal.
No, I mean that was their lineup and their subs tonight, and it's not a
threat you really, is there?
No, but when you look at it, you go, it's not really an understrength side as such. I mean, Kinski obviously wouldn't normally play. You'd have Vicario in goal, but Porro, Danso, Spence, three of the starting four at the back. Pellini is a really good defensive midfield player, really good on the ball. Bergvall starts plenty of games. Benton Kerr starts plenty of games. Pap Sarr as well. Johnson's your starting sort of right wing. Xavi Simons is supposedly the one of the star players that should be there. And Richarlison's
shit.
I guess they're he's shit, but he's their starting centre forward. So you look and go, well, actually that's a pretty strong starting lineup and should cause Newcastle problems, and especially with the fact that Newcastle made 8 changes from the weekend and Spurs only made 4. They're really, really poor. They were really disappointing. I guess obviously from a Spurs fan's perspective, you're looking at it going, where the hell was the fight from them tonight? There was very little quality from them, and there was only those really Sarr's chance and Richarlison's that I mean, they had, I think, 6 attempts on target. Most of them were right down Ramsdale's throat. They were really easy saves to make. It just basically catches. They've just been toothless.
That's not the most important question tonight, Mark. The most important question is from Zio Mark here. Where's the toaster gone? That's what he really wants to know. Where's the toaster gone? There it is. Yeah. It's on top of the microwave.
It's never moved.
Sorry, Zio Mac, beg your pardon, Zio Mac. The toaster is alive and well, mate. Don't you worry about it. The toaster's alive and well. But I mean, we do have to talk a little bit, because it's a great win for Newcastle. We're through to the quarterfinals. The draw should be on very soon. Hopefully, we'll find out who we're going to get as we're talking tonight on the lives, guys. But there is something I wanted to talk about because we've had a good win tonight. It's gone really well for us, and I just wanted to spare a second's thought for that team down in Merseyside that have spent near on £1 billion on players. Certain £125 million on a shithouse rat who's got a groin made of flubber and has been crap for them. And because winning the Carabao Cup isn't for everybody, Mark, and it's not for Liverpool, and it's not for Arne Slot. So they won't be in any finals this season, will it? So
it's not, and the draw is live. So the draw is going on now. So Arsenal
Dave's already there. Dave's there with you. The draw is on. Dave is in the house. Go on, Dave.
Arsenal versus Palace is the first draw. That's
a good draw, isn't it? That's a good draw.
First draw out. Cardiff are at home.
Ooh. No, Zio Mac, it is not a shame. I like the sarcasm, though. I like the sarcasm. Leo says, by quad.
Cardiff have pulled Chelsea.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate for them, I guess.
Chelsea are patchy.
They can be. Ball 7 is next, which is Manchester City.
Oh, this will be us. This will be Newcastle watch. This will be fucking Newcastle. Is that Man City at home as well, is it?
Well, Newcastle are ball 6, and it is ball number 1, which is they have Brentford.
Ooh.
Which means Newcastle have a tie against Fulham.
Oh, get in. Is that at home?
So let's have a look. Who is out? It is a home game against Fulham.
Get in. We'll have that.
Quarterfinal draw.
Lads and lasses.
Fulham at home.
We'll have that, lads and lasses. We've just beat them. It was a tough game, but we beat them.
I guess as the draw goes in the cups, when you've still got Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester City in the draw, that's kind of what you want. He's about as good as can be, and yeah. I mean, not to kind of put the kiss of death on it or anything, but that's exactly what you. I mean, is something to get into the semi-finals of the draw, isn't it? So I mean, that's a really, really good draw.
Kev says we could have got City, we could have got Chelsea. That's we couldn't have got Liverpool. So happy days.
No, and they're going to come up. It's ties week commencing the 15th of December.
Ooh,
so a couple of months for that. So but we've got a fortnight's international break, haven't we, coming up soon? So
absolutely.
Just as you get the the momentum going with games and things, and suddenly there's a whole gap in the middle again. But,
you can never have enough international breaks in football these days, can you? Really, to be honest with you, I mean, we might pause this episode for an international break. If you bear with us, guys, we'll be back. We'll be back in a minute. There seems to be international breaks every fucking week, doesn't it? But I mean, we've got to take that, as you say there. You've got Arsenal, Chelsea, and City still in this competition, and Palace as well, who are a really good side.
Yeah.
And I think for us to get Fulham at home, which is a winnable game, we've got a good record against them. I think that's a brilliant time. Roger's in the house. Roger's probably been at the game. Hope you had a good one, Roger. Brilliant result for the lads. Good performance as well. Let us know your thoughts, mate, in the comments. Graham says Tonali was brilliant. He was brilliant. I mean, you've got to remember as well, he's just got over an illness. So, I mean, that's probably not even Tonali as optimum Tonali best, really, is it? You know what I mean? So that was absolutely class. Comment there from Philson. Klopp will be brushing those turkey teeth as we speak. Well, funny, I think the Liverpool fans are currently in meltdown, aren't they? Because is that them lost 6 games in a row now? I think
it's not 6 in a row. It's 6. Is it 5 from 6 or 6 from 7?
5 from 6. 6, 7, 6, 7. Come on, you got to get the trends, mate.
I've done it. They lost, or they beat Frankfurt, didn't they? So this is now, it's 6. It's lost 6 from 7. That's an appalling
6 from
run
7
of
again,
games.
Mark. Was it 6 from 7 again? Come on, you're setting them up. My daughter will be really pleased I've done that because she did say try and get that into one of the episodes. So there you go. I've done that. I've got it in. Mark teed it up. But I mean, is Onslaught really at risk of getting binned here? Do you think he's genuinely at risk of getting binned? I mean, we don't give a fuck anyway because it's hilarious. But like,
who cares?
Could he get binned? I
mean, if that run continues, who have they got at the weekend? They're home to, I think they're home to Villa, aren't they?
Villa. I mean, Villa can turn it on against the big teams. They picked up a bit.
Yeah,
as well
absolutely. But their next games, they've got. Jesus Christ! It gets funnier. So they're Villa at home at the weekend. Then in the Champions League on the Tuesday, Real Madrid at home.
Oh, that's not going to be a win.
Then Manchester City away. So there's a real possibility that Liverpool could have, what's that, one win in 10 at the end of this run. I mean, does that, I mean, again, not that we care, but does that really it puts them under massive pressure because I don't think they've had a run of games like that for a long time.
No, it's not easy being a big club, is it? It's not easy being a big club, mate. We've got comment in there from a Binny guy. Howdy, folks. Spurs fan here. I know. What can I say? We are so back Spursy. Frankly speaking, Frank Paul is shit. I mean, I'll tell you what I love about Spurs being Spursy, right? I actually think Frank's made Spurs a better team in a way last season. It couldn't have been worse, or he would have got relegated. But I do think they'll be okay this season. So I think you'll be okay, mate. But I do love to watch the expressions, oozing meltdowns when Spurs don't win a game. Just, mate, that goal, the Buendia goal of the day, which, by the way, that's got to be up there, pass of the season from Matty Cash for me, because that was fucking superb, that pass. And when that went in, I actually flicked them on live as it went in. He just went, no! I was absolutely pissing myself off. And he's got such a great way of reacting to shit going wrong for his team. So as much as I'm actually, it's good to see Spurs doing better, I do love it when he's on song, mate, because he is hilarious, to be fair. So.
No, I do find him very entertaining. He's one of the, I mean, obviously everybody's views on people like that are different, but I just find him quite entertaining.
Yes, he is.
Win or lose, he's been very good. I mean, Spurs are weird because obviously you've put in there that Frank bullshit, but they're sitting third in the league. 5 wins from 9 in the league, only conceded 7, scored 70. I mean, this is surely you should be happy, but it just. Yeah, there just seem an air about Spurs, doesn't there? That as good as the start of the season has been, that perhaps isn't the true story. But they're such a weird side. It's so strange.
Phil feels sorry for Liverpool, as you can clearly see. He says, "Fuck Liverpool, loving every second of a person who shit bags." Love it, Phil. Absolutely love it, mate. That kind of comment is well welcomed on the Evermore live chat stream. But yeah, I mean. That we needed that. I mean, it's a big 3 games for us. We just got the win against Fulham. On the balance of it, we would have deserved that. I don't think Fulham were great. I think we took our foot off the gas, very similar to what we did today, to be honest with you, in terms of hunting that second goal down. Newcastle have to be better at that. They have to be more ruthless with taking their chances. They have to be, more intent with the final ball and getting people into positions. But, you can see signs of this all ticking, Mark, in terms of, players getting better. Woltemade looking sharper. We've seen signs of improvement there. Langer look better tonight. Barnes is looking hungry for the chance. We've got so much depth now in midfield. I mean, Lewis Miley was kind of out of the game tonight, but I think he'll get game time at the weekend. Because I think there needs to be rotation. Bruno still come on tonight, which was mad because the game was kind of won. And as Zio Max says, we've got Wissa to come back as well. Who's a proven Premier League goal scorer who's chomping at the bit. To do something in a black and white shirt. I still don't think we'll wait till near the time because this will be a massive topic all content creators to cover. I don't think Wissa goes to the African Cup of Nations. I don't think he goes. I think he stays here. I think he's almost had that conversation with the DR Congo people and Newcastle, and I don't think anyone's going to talk about it until as and when it comes. But I think the whole kind of talking about managing him up to his fitness levels and all that kind of stuff, I think that is kind of go in line with saying, look, he's not match sharp enough to go and play in the AFCON, and I think that's how they'll play it. I mean, let's get it right. Wissa's, what is he, 30, 29, 30? He could still play for DR Congo for another 3 or 4, 5 years, probably. Do you know what I mean? So, if he misses this AFCON, he'll have another AFCON, you know what I mean? Or a World Cup, even to go to, potentially to get through.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just turned 29, so he's got plenty of move. Yeah. It would, I sort of agree, I agree with this comment. I think it would be a bit of a dick move. But look, yeah. I get there's a calling for your country, and for some it is bigger than others. But the scenario reminds us an awful lot of Owen playing for England when he wasn't fully fit, and that's a huge worry.
Knee injury.
He rocks up at a tournament, so it's kind of all guns blazing into the tournament for them. And if he's not match sharp and he picks up another injury or a worse injury, it would just be horrendously bad luck. But I think that there's got to be some sense from him, hasn't there, to kind of go, I'm not fit. I'll have another chance. It's every couple of years, isn't it? So it's not like he's going to have to wait 4 years for the next World Cup to come round. He's only waiting until 2 years to do it again. So he's sitting one out a bad thing.
You've swore, Mark. You've swore. Monty's not happy with you, but I understand the analogy. I understand the analogy, Monty. Yeah. He did pick the worst name out there.
I mean, in fairness, it's difficult to talk about it without mentioning him. But I'm sorry.
But for context, Mark does think he's a complete bell end as well. To be fair.
Completely. So he's an utter wanker.
Yeah, let's just get that right. But I think I mean, for me, there's 3 big home games there. We've won 2 now. Bilbao obviously is coming next week.
Yeah.
The way we're playing in the Champions League, the confidence, the way things are ticking, providing there's no injuries, and we probably roll the dice a little bit and freshen up against West Ham, which I think we will. I think there'll be some freshness there. I think, like I said, Lewis might get game time. He'll maybe bring Gordon back in from the start, or Murphy back. Or maybe just change around a bit, manage minutes properly, because that's what we've got to do with this squad. We've got to manage the minutes. We're doing really well in the Champions League. We seem to have almost, dare I say it, feel more comfortable in the Champions League than we're doing in the Premier League at the minute, which is mad, given that the Premier League is our league and we need to try and figure out a way to win those games. But I think you couldn't ask for a better game, really, than the weekend against West Ham. West Ham is a huge game, Croc, absolutely. I think Croc's been a member for a long time as well. Sorry, Croc, I didn't see that pop up earlier, mate. So sorry for not bringing that up. But I think it is a huge game, Mark. But I mean, the way West Ham are playing, not to get too cocky, but fuck me. I mean, the Brentford rejects might do them 3 now. The way they're playing at the minute, they kind of kick their own arse, can they? You know what I mean? So you'd like to think we're going to go there with confidence with the squad we've got and get the win. You'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 win from 10 this season for them, or 1 win and 1 draw. That win was against Forest, who were absolutely abysmal. The draw, surprisingly, away against Everton. They've had some tough. I mean, let's be kind of a little bit fair. They've had some tough games against Chelsea and Palace and Arsenal and things, but one win in 10 in all comps. If you go back to the last part of last season, you've got 2 wins, 6, 8, 10, 2 wins from 11. So they've got 3 wins in the last 21 games. It's a shocking run of form. And they don't look like getting out of it.
We've been there. That's relegation.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they play like that. We've been there.
Absolutely. I mean, they look horrendous. I mean, they look one of 2 to go down. And in that initial view of the first sort of 10 games of the season, there are 2 teams that are on their way to the Championship, and neither of which are promoted sides. It's Wolves and West Ham. They both look a complete shambles. There's talk of players wanting to leave now. Paqueta potentially will leave in January. Would there be a phone call from Newcastle for that? Because does he suit? Would he be a good signing to come in? I mean, I guess it won't be horrendously expensive either.
I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I think there's a bit of baggage there with him, in terms of what's happened. But I mean, he's got the friendship with Bruno, who's, the Brazilian international, and a very good player, and provides something that we don't really have in that squad, and that's the ability to do something out of nothing and break down teams that sit in low blocks. But I mean, it's a weird one with West Ham. I mean, you get these teams that just seem to go into free fall, and I think the only way that they come back is generally with new manager bounces. You look at Forest, for example. I think they'll turn the corner a bit under Dyche. I think they'll become hard to beat. They'll maybe nick results. They've still got good players. Whereas I think with West Ham, how far do they let it go? Because this is already their second manager, And if you remember the season we went down, what did we have? 3 or 4 managers? We had Houghton, and then we had Joe Kinnear, then we had Alan Shearer. We went down with 3 managers, I think, didn't win one season. So West Ham willing to do that and have 3 managers in one season. So they'll want to give Nuno time to try and get something out of that team. But it looks very much to me like all of the team are really struggling. Even Bowen's getting a bit pissed off, and he's their best player. He's starting to come out in front of cameras and looking quite pissed off and grumpy. And, he's 29 years old, but he's a hell of a player. If he was up for grabs, half the Premier League would be after him. If they went down in the summer, Newcastle included, I bet you. But yeah, I think for me, again, Eddie Howe will say every game, is important. We've got to take it seriously, and we absolutely do. But I think for me, I would fancy that Newcastle squad, no matter who plays in that starting 11 out of that squad of 18 or 20 players that that we saw even tonight. I'd fancy those players to go down to West Ham and win. I really would, Mark. I'm sorry, the way they're playing.
Yeah, I absolutely no fear with him. And you touched on the manager situation. He's been there a month. Yeah. He got the initial draw, but then three straight defeats, 1 goal scored in those 3 games, 4 overall. They're not a threat. You're right. Bowen's probably their only player. He's their only threat.
Only outlet, really. They haven't got anybody else.
They don't have anything. They're weak at the back. They don't create. They've got no. They really have no centre forward.
Wilson didn't even get on. He brought a kid on, didn't he?
Yeah.
A few weeks back. He brought an 18-year-old lad on instead of Wilson. That tells you where Wilson's fitness is.
It is. Funny enough, I think against Leeds, he put himself about a bit. He didn't actually look too bad. He looked completely devoid of any sort of form and being able to influence the game in front of goal. But at least he put a shift in. But they just don't have. I don't think they've got the stomach for it. They really don't. And the likes of Souček and that who you walk, I think they could always rely on before to give them a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 every single week. They're just not putting it in. And whether they just got to the point where they just go, I just can't anymore. Nobody else is doing it. Why should I continue to put everything in and everybody else is not?
Well, you look at the team that we have, when we went down with Sissoko, Wijnaldum and Janmaat and Shelvey and Townsend and players like that, we still went down. They were really good players. Well, a super chat in from Graham Ritchie. Thanks for this, Graham. So many positives in my views. Players coming back, fringe players doing well. I can see us really kicking on from here. Keep up the great videos, lads. Thank you very much, Graham, and you keep up the support, buddy, lad. We really appreciate that. I think, for me, that's the big thing, I think, is that, you want to create a hunger in this squad and a competitiveness that players will say, right, I've got a chance to impress in this game and I'm going to impress. Like Ramsdale probably knows in his heart of hearts that Pope will be straight back in as number 1 against West Ham on Sunday. But he's gone out there tonight and he's really worked. He's played well and he's made some good saves and he's commanded his box well and his distribution's been excellent. So Howe knows he can call on Ramsdale if anything happens to Pope in the lead up that game, and Ramsdale's ready to go. He's match ready. And it's the same. Even I thought Kraft, showed a little bit tonight. He was rusty as hell, but he doesn't let you down. Kraft, he puts in the shift. Alanga's looking a bit sharp and bright. Even Willick looked a bit more like the Willick of old. So these players are all trying to grab that chance because we said this in the summer and we're talking about squad management and all that. So there's so much football for Newcastle United this season. There's so much football to be played that there's enough football for a lot of these players to get a good run of games, a good steady run of games. I mean, we're so kind of dripping in quality and depth in the centre half position. Well, I think I was watching one of Rob's videos. Rob Rubenstein was a top lad. We met Rob before at a pipe. He was a great lad, to be fair. And he mentioned Lascelles now, and he laughed out loud and said, "Fuck Lascelles is going to get anyone nowhere near this team with the quality of centre half in this squad. Unless Lascelles is giving him a lift of training, he's getting fucking nowhere near these lads on the pitch. He really isn't. But that's what Newcastle have to do: get better players, build that quality up. And I generally feel that's what we've done with the squad now. You look at the bench against Fulham; it changed the game when it come on. Look at the bench tonight; it comes on, and that's where Newcastle really want to be, Mark, isn't it? If we want to fight on all fronts, we have to have that squad of players.
Absolutely right. And those players that come in tonight, it's funny, you're talking about Kraft. What amazed me is, and it's something I haven't seen from Emil Kraft much, just how high up the field he was playing the first half. Newcastle very much in possession were dropping into a 3 at the back. Emil Kraft was 40, 50, 60 yards further forward than the defensive line to almost play that overlapping right wing back. Unbelievable.
He was doing it.
But he did a solid job. He's played virtually no minutes at all of football over the last couple of years. He did a really good job. He looked leggy when he came off, and I get that substitution completely. And the others just all came in and did a really, really good job. We've sort of talked about Willick earlier, but I go back to him and just say, look, he's had a number of opportunities when he's come in and not done very well. I thought tonight he did really well.
That was better tonight.
He has to take those chances. He has to want. I guess going forward, you want to see goals from him. You want to see him create stuff, and he did that tonight. He got into.
He should have got a goal and an assist tonight. To be fair, he should have had that. Yeah, that's what you want. Good shout from Les there. Burn put in he put a couple of canny crosses. Burn, I thought, from left back tonight. There was a couple of really good balls across the box.
The first one, especially, I sort of mentioned earlier jokingly that he sort of turned himself into Gareth Bale earlier on. That one where he sort of just knocks the ball past Brennan Johnson, beats him for pace and whips the ball across. It's an unbelievable bit of wing play from Dan Burn, it's just not his game at all. But he was good. Again, he has his detractors. He has been criticised. We've criticised him for when he's played left back before. He was excellent again tonight. He got up and down the field really, really well. He got up to support. There was that moment, I think, that Willick broke through, and it was his footwork that just let him down a little bit as he cut inside. Dan Burn had busted gut to get from left back into the right side of the 18-yard box, coming in, waiting for a ball in, and then got himself back again. And he's worked so tirelessly tonight as well. And I think huge credit to Dan Burn as well.
But a fully fit Lewis Hall still walks back into this team for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in left back, I want a left back to play left back. Yeah. And if Lewis Hall comes in, I want him in my team.
Absolutely. Comment there from Aaron saying still need another left back, attacking midfield, and Semenyo. Oh, I mean, that was a player we slept on in the summer. I'd have went all out for Semenyo. I really would. That's, I think January, I'm not sure we will add in January. I think we might struggle money-wise. But you're right, though, if we want to, enhance that squad, then maybe we do need it. And the Crimson Lip saying, I think Thiaw has really started to integrate into the team, and Newcastle and the fans too. I thought he was excellent, mate. I really do. I think like I say, that tackle that pace that he got to catch up with Richarlison, and then he just went fucking come on to the crowd. The crowd went mental for it. I just thought this kid. I keep looking at him going, where were the rest of the Premier League with this kid? Like Crystal Palace wanted £70 million for Mark Gahey. That kid's 30 million quid. I'm thinking, I don't see a worse player than Mark Gahey there with that kid. I'm thinking, no. What on earth were you lot doing? Then you start to think, why did AC Milan want rid of this kid? Like, what was wrong? Did he shag the chairman's daughter or something? Like, what did he do wrong? I'm thinking of Will Wilfred's a heart man, allegedly. What did he do wrong to be deemed to be surplus requirements of Milan? Because even the Milan fans were saying, why are you selling him? He's our best defender. Like they were going nuts. They were going, what are you selling them for? And
there's always a little bit of fear in the background that a sale from Milan where they don't want to get rid of him. The Sandro Tonali situation when he comes in and then gets banned, you're going, where's the badge? He's so good. Is there a downside to his game? I can't see it. He's good in the air. He's good on the ball. He's strong. He's quick. He plays brilliant passes forward. It's funny, if you go back a couple of seasons when we used to talk about Sven Botman in that role and Botman breaking the lines with his passes forward, and there was always the outlet to like Bruno to be able to play through the midfield and defence, and just it was that straight ball through the lines. Mike Chow does the same thing, but he's so good, and then he's brilliant at winning the ball high, as we saw with the goal, and he's great at driving forward with the ball. Those progressive runs that he makes with the ball, I don't think there's a downside to his game, and you go, how the hell have you picked him up for 30 million? The mind boggles.
Maybe farts loads when he plays, like, you know, he just like farts all throughout the entire game, and he's just lifting. He just
gives him his speed.
Yeah, that's what it is, like a turbo boost. He just constantly farts the entire game. And the Milan would just say, look, he's a really good player, but he's fucking lifting. You know, we've got 160 air fresheners in the change room. We can't do it anymore. Just sell him, get rid of him. The cleaners are passing out. There's got to be something like that, really. There really, really has. Marcus is feeling generous again tonight. He's gifted 10 ever more memberships. Marcus, you legend. We are going to have to start giving away some member prizes. All these members that are getting
memberships. Yes, we will do this. Can I just
hang around?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to just bring up that I picked up a slide from Sky earlier on, and I've slightly edited it.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm just going to bring it up now.
Sorry, Mark's got his slides, ladies and gentlemen. It's COVID time again. Next slide, please.
We're going back, yeah. So
everyone's getting COVID these days, so it is fucking COVID time again. It's like
the Eddie Howe's record in this competition,
phenomenal.
Newcastle is unbelievable. And he started the game with 18 games. 16 wins. Obviously, that's gone up. I have updated this slate. It's a phenomenal record when you look at it over the seasons that he's been at Newcastle. To have been in the final twice in that time. This is another. It was a quarterfinal the first season? Was it? Am I right in thinking? Was that
second? Second was a quarter.
I'm trying to remember, because was it a defeat to Brentford? Potentially in the at that point.
No, we went out to Chelsea. Was it
Chelsea?
Fucked up with a backwards header, because we would have got Middlesbrough, I think, in the was it the final or the semi-final? We would have got Middlesbrough, I think, potentially.
I can't remember.
Tell us in the comments. They'll tell us they were wrong in the comments.
It's a phenomenal record, and just goes to show, and I guess as well for some of this, that it's been seen as a Mickey Mouse competition. Newcastle have shown this credit to it. It's a route into Europe. It's something to be won. Palace showed with the FA Cup. There's a prize at the end of it. That's exactly what the silverware, and for clubs that don't. But when you look at the teams that are left in it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the clubs that are left in it, Arsenal, City, Palace, Newcastle, Chelsea. It's going to show that the big sides are still putting out sides. Well, maybe it's not Liverpool tonight, because the side they put out was absolutely appalling. But that's a whole different story. But there is still something in this. There is still a wish to win the competition, and I know Pep likes it. He's been quite open to say that he loves the competition. He won it enough. It's not. I mean, we've seen from pundits and ex-players that they talk about it being a Mickey Mouse competition. I disagree entirely.
Arrogant. That
it is completely.
Yeah. Great comment from Benny Boy. Outside of Arsenal's defence, Chow and Botman are the best centre backs in the Premier League. In Tonali's a freak of nature. He was absolutely fucking everywhere. I mean, you look at those three players there, and as you say, outside of of arguably maybe Declan Rice, Gabriel and Saliba, I generally don't know if there's three better players than them three in their position than Tonali, Chow and Botman at the minute, the way they're playing. Botman got a bit of a knock on the head, but you look in the Premier League, you're thinking, fucking hell, like who's better who's better than them? And just a comment again. Glenn says it doesn't matter if he farts. The boys can fucking deal with it. Well said, Glenn. Well said, mate.
I mean, if you're putting them up like for like, I guess you're going Saliba, Gabriel, and Declan Rice, and they're probably on as equal because they are excellent. I mean, Gabriel and Saliba are an excellent centre back partnership. I mean, there's absolutely no denying that they're probably as complete a centre back partnership as you'll find. But I tell you what, Thiaw and Botman are right there, mate. And Tonali is. I mean, is Tonali the best midfielder in the Premier League at the moment?
Well, there was a debate about that, wasn't there, in the overlap?
Yeah.
And an Arsenal fan said Declan Rice, and then Paul Scholes, fair play, had some controversial opinions. He said Tonali was the best midfielder for him in the Premier League. Cue them saying he'll sign for Man United next week. That's a great question from Aaron. That's a great question. Joe Linton or Ramsey? Now, that is a great question. I think that, not setting defence, that depends on the nature of the game you're playing.
Yeah.
I think if you're not going to see a lot of the ball, Joe Linton's your man, because he's going to do what he did tonight when he nearly snapped Kudos in half, and then set the tone and get everybody up and fired. But Ramsey's energy tonight, his ability to pick the ball, it was link-up play with Barnes at times was excellent on that left-hand side. They were constantly showing for each other. And I was really, really excited from what I saw from Jacob Ramsey. He's a player you know well. You followed him for a long time, Mark. He's a really good player. He's had some shit with injuries, but you can see the quality's there. And for me, he's the kind of player, if he gets a little run of games, a run of minutes, I think he'll get goals from Newcastle. I could see him being a 7 to 10 goal a season midfielder for Newcastle. I think he's that good.
He's definitely got the ability there, and he's got the attitude. It was nice to see he was quite tenacious earlier on. He was getting himself stuck in.
A few challenges,
not quite as stuck in as Joe Linton got when he came on. Mate, what on earth he was doing?
That was a little bit wild, though. He's very lucky. He's very lucky for that. I think, to be fair.
That's very lucky. That's borderline. I think when you go high and wrap the legs like that, he's got lucky with that. But
I'm not surprised Kudos reacted like that. I'd have been a bit fucking pissed off and he flew in a mail like that. That's a great comment as well from Toon Guru. We're nearly forgetting in all of this talk. Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall coming back. That changes the whole dynamic of that team, because those two, the pace of Tino, the ability to get forward and cause trouble and get back and defend, and Lewis Hall's ability to get forward and whip in crosses and link up with Gordon or Barnes or whoever's out there, or Ramsey in the midfield, find those little through passes to cut the lines. Those two coming back, hopefully staying fit, because we need them to stay fit. And for the lads as well, Mark, because it's a massive season for them too with the World Cup there. If those two stay fit and play well, they're going on the plane, in my opinion, both of them. So they'll want to be fit and stay fit. But it does open up a total different dynamic when they come back to this team. No disrespect to Trippier or Byrne, they've done a good job, but getting on and 3 games a week really tells on those older players. It really shows.
It will keep them fresh, and the performances we've seen from particularly Dan Byrne this
Mark's frozen.
Rest at times, so we'll keep him
he's back.
a bit
Mark's
more
back.
fresh. But I think his whole. Oh, am I back?
You threw.
So his whole. I think Hall's due back. I apologise. So I was just saying about keeping Dan Byrne fresh, and especially when the level of performances he's had, to get Hall back and give him minutes. But I think Hall back due back in November. I think Tino's a little bit later, to end November, December time, but it's not a million miles away now, and it could be almost a full strength squad with Touchwood. To not anger the football gods again, to a point where Newcastle are attacking on 4 different fronts with a full strength squad. We saw the damage that this did to the sides the previous Champions League season with a wafer thin squad with nothing there. You're not as concerned if the players are all back with that sort of stuff, and it's shown, and we'd say again, they've shown tonight that those fringe players, those players that have come in to build the squad up, have performed really, really well, and that has to continue from them.
It's lifted the floor of the squad, which I think is what they needed to do. Absolutely. It's a good comment from Dean saying we need to learn from the Rat saga and reward Tonali with an improved deal and Tino and Hall as well. Do not disagree with that. So there was a good comment there actually from West End Mag. Interesting one. Chris, do you think we will or should we rest Big Nick at the weekend? That's a really interesting one, that, because, he's playing so well, but there is moments where he looks like he's hobbling a little bit. Now, with West Ham being so poor, as I said before, Barnes looks like he's in good shape and good form. Alanga's looking a little bit more hungrier. There's an argument to say that you put Gordon in the middle and Barnes out left and Murphy on the right, and maybe give Woltemade the rest and bring him off the bench if you need to, and keep him fresh for Benfica. That's up to the manager to rotate. I wouldn't necessarily be against that, Mark, if I'm brutally honest with you, as much as I don't like Gordon through the middle, because I don't think he's great through the middle. But him and Barnes could interchange, moving left the middle between the two of them, and cause some real chaos against a depleted and devoid of confidence West Ham, who, don't look like they could protect a sandcastle down Tynemouth Beach, let alone a fucking, a clean sheet in the Premier League. So, I mean, do you think that it's crossed Eddie's mind to rest Big Nick for this game, or do you think he'll start him?
I think it probably crosses his mind, but I don't think he will. I think he'll
start him.
I think he just gives you such a more ability to win games because of his presence.
So why do you want to take him out?
And he's scoring with very little opportunities as well. It's not like you're creating 4, 5, 6 chances for him a game. It's very little. I think the telling thing is it's 3 games until the international break. It's West Ham, it's Athletic Club, and then it's Brentford's on the Sunday, isn't it? Before the break. He's obviously going to be called up for the Germany squad. They're playing Luxembourg and Slovakia, I think it is.
So they're short trip games, though, aren't they? Like last time we went to Ireland, he hasn't the jet flights kept back over a bit.
Yeah, so he's not going to. He's not going to travel very far. The Luxembourg game is in Luxembourg. The Slovakia game is in Germany. So it's not like he's got a million. It's not like the Brazilian lads who are having to travel ridiculous miles to get around the world to go and play their game. But so that's in their favour. I guess the Luxembourg game is going to be relatively straightforward for them. So there's not a lot of effort into that. So I'm probably the opinion that you don't rest him. That you play him now, that he gets the next 3 games. It's Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, I think. So there's a little bit extra time, obviously, from the Wednesday game to the game of the weekend, and then there's a break where it's not going to be as intense for him. So he can almost take the foot off the gas a little bit at that point, and then come back fighting fresh, I guess, for the City game, and then away to Marseille. As you get into the end of November.
Tough games coming. Dan's been a member for 18 months. Thanks for that, Dan. Appreciate that, buddy. We have to improve the floor. The ceiling has gone. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Another comment there. A couple of people have said this. Phil saying, if he rests Big Nick, I think Asula's earned the chance to start. The rest is up to him. If he wants to stay involved with Wilson not far away, he needs to perform. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think we've seen some good improvements from Will Asula. I think it's a big credit to the coaching staff behind the scenes, what they've done with him, because he looks like he's kind of making more focused runs, and his touch is better, his decision making's a bit better. He's got pace, he's got strength. He has the ability to influence games, so he is definitely improving. So it'll be interesting to see what Eddie does. We've got Obi Lee has gifted 5 of them more memberships. Thank you very much for that, Obi.
Thank you, mate.
Very, very generous of you, Ponyland. Very, very generous of you. Droffy is saying play the strongest team against West Ham. It may not be as easy as people think. There is always that danger sometimes, isn't there? That some of these relegation teams can just bite back against you, and they're looking for that turning point, aren't they? And managers will always try to get that turning point. But yeah, I mean, I think with Newcastle, certainly historically in the Red How, once they've got the bit between their teeth, they seem to go off on these little runs. And I feel like we're kind of in the middle of one just brewing now, touch wood, not to curse it, but I just feel like the way things are ticking, the way things are starting to slip together, the improved performances of the players in the starting 11 and off the bench, the belief starting to grow. We're starting to understand how to play with Woltemade more, get around him, get players beyond him. Bruno's getting into the box and scoring goals. The wingers are going beyond Woltemade. It's starting to click, Mark, isn't it, in terms of right, that's how this lad plays. We're not playing with the other one, with the flubber groin anymore. We're playing with this guy, and that's how he plays. And they're almost slowly just starting to get it together, aren't they? You know, and I think that's a great sign for the fixtures coming ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you sort of touched on it before. There's I think going on these runs, isn't it? And Newcastle tend to have a bit of a dip, a bit of a slip up. The Brighton game, I think, is probably that in this run of fixtures, but it's one. The Arsenal game is.
A lot of people can lose there. A lot of people can lose there, depending on what Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, Brighton can turn it on and off pretty much whenever they want, I guess, can't they? So going to Brighton and losing it's not the end of the world, I don't think. But Newcastle in this one where they've won now, what is it, 6 of 8, and this is what tends to happen with Newcastle. They go on these runs where it's just win, have a few negative results, and I think there were a few more early on last season, the season before actually it was. And then there's just a run of 10 games where there's 8 or 9 wins and a draw, and this is I guess this has just been Eddie Howe's time at Newcastle. But I think this time round, you're right, as players start to adapt, as players get used to each other, there's a huge difference in that squad, in that side this year from he who left to Nick. It's totally different. I think he's more like in the fact that he'll bring players into the game, but in a much more much different way. You've talked about the Berbatov links and things, and the other players starting to really see how he operates and how he's adapted to the league, and they're now adapting to him. The interplay that we've seen, Elanga tonight with him, those little 1-2 touches that we saw. Gordon did it against Fulham at the weekend. That lovely little layoff that he plays to Gordon to run through and then to Bonzo. Those little things for all of the players. There's a little change. I think there's a bit of a change in mentality in the way that the game, Eddie Howe's approached some of these games as well. It's almost not this rigid 4-3-3 anymore that has adapted as well. And I think that will only get better as those players continue to adapt, as the likes of Wissa come back and the 2 fullbacks come back as well. I think these runs of games that Newcastle tend to get will get longer, and they'll be more competitive. And even in the games that maybe they don't win, that in previous seasons they've been not at the races. I go back to like the Everton game and things like that, where those defeats not in the game at all. I think those will start to disappear.
No, definitely. It's all starting to come well there. We've got super chatting from Dean. I think he needs to sound very encouraged about our squad at the minute. I feel like it's all coming together. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. And I think that's a good way to end this one, guys. It's a great result for Newcastle United. We're through the quarterfinals once again of the Carabao Cup, the cup that we're defending as champions, which is absolutely class, to be fair, to be able to say that out loud. And things are starting to come together. Players are starting to tick. It's all looking a bit more rosy in the black and white garden. And long may it continue. We're going to be back later on this week with the preview for the West Ham game. Then we'll be back with the live post-match on Sunday for the West Ham game, and then I'll be back again in the Champions League next week. The games are coming so thick and fast. I sometimes forget I've got to do a preview. Mark's got to nudge me and say, "You're doing the preview," and I go, "Oh shit, we're going to the game, aren't we?" But it's class. We love it, and the lads are doing the business on the pitch, and that's all we can ask for. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe and comment below. We love the interactions. Thank you for all the lives tonight. Thank you for all the gifted memberships and the super chats. All absolute legends. The lot of you. Keep it ever more. Help get us to the 12,000 mark. And we'll have that mint prize that you guys can be involved with winning. But wherever you are, have a great evening, morning, afternoon, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.
See you guys. Take care.
Carabao's heroes celebrate. They have done it.